Good evening. Welcome to episode 8 of Chief Chat. I'm Matt Vincent, your Chief Executive, and here's my chance to give you a quick update on what's going on in your local government. We've been talking a lot about the budget the last couple of weeks, and that certainly is going to continue through the first week in August when we do finally adopt our final budget. Now, we are in the preliminary stages right now. We started the interface between my branch of the government and our legislative branch, the commissioners, last Thursday with a overview of our draft initiatives and major projects. We're going to continue that initial conversation on the draft initiatives and major projects for consideration this coming Monday. That'd be June 8th at 5:30 up here in the courthouse in the first floor conference room. And once we have that return volley from the Finance and Budget Committee from the Council of Commissioners, we will be taking, again, these draft issues that we're looking at incorporating into a preliminary budget to you, the citizens, and we're going to be doing it in a number of ways. One, we'll be formulating a questionnaire or a survey to get your input on what you think of the major initiatives and priorities that we would like to consider in this next budget cycle, as well as a select number of public meetings where we present last year's budget in comparison to the proposed budget for this year and get your feedback as the folks we serve on what we've got in store. And those the survey and those additional public meetings have yet to be scheduled, but first things first, we are going to be concluding our initial conversation with the Council's Finance and Budget Committee on Monday, this coming Monday, June 8th at 5:30 in the first floor conference room. Next night, on Tuesday the 9th, at 6 o'clock down at our Butte Justice Center, Emergency Operations Center, we'll be having our next Superfund Advisory and Redevelopment Trust Fund Authority group. And we listened to a presentation by our State Board of Investments last week and their staff on considerations of how we can invest the roughly $14 million that we have in the Redevelopment Trust Fund with the Board of Investments and get ourselves a significant, much more significant rate of interest on investing it with their trust fund investment pool up at the state of Montana. We'll be moving ahead as the summer months kick up on drafting a resolution to bring before the council on how we invest that money and start getting at least a 3% return on the investment of those funds. But more importantly, I think for the average citizen in the short term is this group of citizens representing you is going to start the process in the coming weeks and months to figure out how we prioritize projects for which these funds will be spent. And so again, that is going to be Tuesday, June 9th at 6 o'clock down at our Butte Justice Center on Wynn Avenue. And there has been a lot of discussion and concern relative to the status of our Superfund cleanup here in Butte. It's been covered in the newspaper, and certainly things that we want all citizens to feel comfortable or up to speed on. We will be probably scheduling some community conversations to bring our citizens up to speed on where we're at with what's called the 5-year review. The EPA every 5 years does a review on what the citizens think of and what the performance is of past environmental response actions on Superfund sites. And we're in that 5-year review process now, and I'd like to hear from our citizens on what their questions and concerns are in those regards, as well as anything else Superfund related. And so when I check in with you next week, we will likely have a date for that community discussion on the Superfund issues here in our community. It won't be on Tuesday, June 9th, though. That is specific to our redevelopment trust fund. And lastly, you'll start to hear, and not lastly in its entirety, but lastly on, I guess, the list of hot topics. Tonight's council meeting will feature a emergency passage of an ordinance that will allow the legal bringing of dogs into the Skyline Park, the new park down next to NCAT on Continental Drive, so that dog owners can walk their dogs on that trail up to the designated dog area. That will be passed tonight for a 90-day period, which will, I believe, give us enough time to discuss the further reaching changes that are proposed to our parks and dogs in parks ordinance. And so that is going to start hitting the council floor in the coming weeks, and we will be checking in with you and letting you know how you can weigh in on what you think of dogs in parks. Do you like the way it is right now, or do you think that we need more dog parks? Do we need more leniency, or do pet owners need more ability to bring their dogs to our public recreation areas? We want to hear from you, and obviously this ordinance is going to be passed to reflect what the public thinks. And along those lines, I guess I would close out by encouraging all of our citizens to pick this little gem up that was released late last week. This is the first time ever put together a guide of all of the many recreational features that we have here in Butte-Silver. And as the title suggests, and it rightfully is deemed a world-class recreation destination. Please pick this up and look at all of the great recreational offerings that we have in our city, county, and our park system. So with that, I encourage you to stay involved. I encourage you to reach out to us on our social media, our website, and till next week, I'm your Chief Executive. Look forward to chatting with you.